Recently, Madam President, several of our Republican colleagues took the floor of the Senate. They even invited over their fan club from the House. They lined up right behind the speakers over on the Republican side of the aisle. And they were very strong in their feelings that the Speaker of the House should not require members to wear masks. Well, there is a reason for it. And the suggestion that the CDC has flip-flopped, or Dr. Fauci has flip-flopped, belies the reality that the virus has flip-flopped. We're now dealing with something known as a Delta variant. There's an urgent message for all Americans who have not been vaccinated. While you've been avoiding a vaccination or waiting for just the right moment, the enemy, this COVID-19 virus, has not been idle. The Delta variant has arrived in a big and deadly way. Here's what Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of CDC, said. The Delta variant is more aggressive, more transferable than previously circulating strains. It is one of the most infectious respiratory virtues we know of in my 20 years career. Now, in case you dismiss Dr. Walensky as some nonsense-talking Democratic socialist, and you prefer the expertise of Tucker Carlson or Laura Ingraham on Fox, I hope you will not ignore the grim reality in the actual numbers. Over 90% of those infected, hospitalized, and dying from coronavirus Delta variant are unvaccinated. Over 90%. People infected by coronavirus Delta variant may carry 1,000 times as much virus and for a longer period of time as those who were infected with the original coronavirus. Those infected by the Delta variant were roughly twice as likely to be hospitalized than those infected by the original coronavirus. Vaccines still are effective against the Delta variant and coronavirus, but don't believe, if you are unvaccinated, that you are safe around vaccinated people. New data shows fully vaccinated people can spread the Delta variant to others as readily as unvaccinated people. In fact, it gets down to the very basics. Until America decides to make vaccination part of our survival, we will continue, sadly, to witness infections, hospitalizations, and deaths, and God forbid, more variants. Leaders in both public and private sector are stepping up. We should too. People should be tested regularly if they insist on not being vaccinated to show that they're not sick and not a danger to others. The COVID vaccines are safe, free, readily available, and almost miraculously effective. And they are the way out of this pandemic. One more point about COVID protection. Many on the right are spitting mad and filled with feigned confusion about the CDC's new guidance urging people in COVID hotspots to wear masks indoor again, even if you're vaccinated. They say, how can we trust an agency that keeps changing its rules? Because the virus is changing, and the guidance is changing accordingly. The virus has mutated and gained strength because tens of millions of Americans have refused to wear masks or get vaccinated. Deliberate distortion and outraged speech aren't going to stop the virus. If you want to take off the mask for good, and I sure do, if you want your kids to go to school without being burdened by a mask, and I certainly do, we need to tell the truth. Listen to the experts, get the vaccine. Getting this virus behind us is the only way we can reopen America's economy. In the longer term, the way to remain a world's preeminent economy is to invest in the fundamentals of a strong, sustainable growth and shared prosperity. It's good that the Senate is debating this plan. I hope that it passes this week, as soon as possible, as well as our budget resolution. But in the meantime, we cannot ignore that the nation is still in the throes of a pandemic. Madam President, I yield the floor. Suggest the absence of quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Ms.